Hello and welcome back to another video. I know I've been gone for a while. I know as a whole we've been gone for a while, but we're getting back into getting back into the swing of things. Bear with us while I finish college. Elliot is actually usually pretty chilling even with his busy schedule, and Nick is doing what Nick does, being a Manchester United fan. Gonna talk about a couple of things dating back to Saturday, April 4th. We're gonna talk Premier League. We're gonna talk La Liga. We're gonna talk domestic cups. We're gonna talk about the Champions League. So we'll get first into some of the Premier League team action. We're gonna discuss Arsenal Southampton. I'm gonna let Elliot take cruise control with that. We'll hop over a little bit into City Liverpool, and then we'll get into the La Liga business with me. So start us off. I only got to watch some of this game, not all of it, because I've been extremely busy with work. So what happened, dude? Southampton is they can surprise people.
Yeah, I'm not gonna act like I'm surprised though,
Okay.
by this because it was a performance we've seen. It feels like almost every game this season, honestly. Like especially the second half of the season. Um, yeah, like they came out and wanted it. The other reason it's not shocking is because we've played championship and League One opposition a few times
Yeah.
in these domestic cups this season, and I've seen a lot of the same thing, like kind of barring like Wigan, where
Yeah.
we just like it would just cut through them like butter.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, we played Portsmouth, we played Mansfield, we had who else was it in Carabao? Well, anyway, we've had a couple of these opponents,
Yeah.
and a lot of Mansfield took the game to us. It was a 2-1 with a late winner from Eze, where again, like, it looked like we were playing on a championship pitch, like
Yeah.
it was rough.
I'm
They
assuming
were,
resting the starters and all that stuff as well.
yeah, but still, I'm
Even
looking
then, of
at
course.
even then, like, you know, it's such a weird place with the squad right now because like there's an argument that you could make that right now, pound for pound, not even pound for pound, maybe that um Max Dallman is our best right winger right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Saka has been unavailable, and really just brought down with injuries constantly.
Yeah.
Small knocks, but they accumulate to where like it feels like he hasn't been fit in like a year,
Yeah.
and
Always
he's
limping.
just, yeah, he's just has not gotten anywhere near the levels that, we expect from him this year. And Madueke, I didn't expect much from him. I pretty much am getting what I expected. So, but my point being that like I still feel like almost any lineup we put out, I'm expecting us to win.
Okay.
In that game, in most of these games, and it's just I don't want to go on too long about it because honestly, it's like so much of the same stuff
Yeah.
that I'm seeing, seeing Odegaard come on and be essentially out of the game, not effective at all, and I've been hard on him. A lot of the fan base has been hard on him. I think it's justified though. Like it's gotten to a point now it's pretty bad and a lot of people are ready to see him go. I'm kind of stuck in the middle of that, but more just, it's not just him though. It's everybody is playing this way. Gyökeres has been getting some goals as of late. The second half of the season he's been good in a lot of games,
He
but
scored against he scored in the game against Southampton.
yeah,
He let's see. He scored against Leverkusen as well, no? In,
yes.
in the
Yeah,
first
he
game.
had no in the second game.
Oh,
I
and
think
then
he,
he
I think
scored
he,
against Everton. Like he's been doing all right.
yeah, and I don't with him, I don't think it's entirely his fault.
No, I think the players around him need to bring better service into him.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised, like the way that he started the season. I'm
Yeah,
kind of surprised he's gotten to the tally that he's at now, even like, and I'm kind of happy with it, honestly. Like, if he, I don't know how many we have, like maybe 10 games left. If he gets five more, like
yeah.
dreamland.
I don't know what like his not to be one of those nerds like, but I don't know what his XG is for the season, but do you know like if he's outperforming his expected goals?
I would guess he probably is
Okay.
because well, I don't know. It's hard to say because he's got a lot of tap-ins and like kind of just weird, like, the Atletico game, like two of them are just like off his shin.
You gotta be there to put him away though, man.
Yeah, but if we're talking XG, I don't know. But
Oh, he is. He is. I just found it right here. His XG is 9.35. He's got 11. I mean, hey, he's still outperforming. Yeah, I know it's
so
only about
that's just
one
in the
point
Prem
something.
though.
Yeah, that's just in the Prem. Let's
Yeah.
see the Champions League. It might even be better in the Champions League. No, it's actually almost spot on. He's got an XG of 4.78 and four goals. And then in the EFL Cup, 1-1. And then FA Cup, I'm sure he hasn't played many games in that.
Yeah.
One goal in the FA Cup with an XG of 0.37. So not bad.
Yeah.
He's doing what his XG is.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like he doesn't get a lot of chances every game, you know.
Yeah.
It I do sort of like the eye test and kind of loosely, like just off the top of my head, like I can I remember a lot of his goals kind of coming, it feels like out of nowhere, where it's just like he just gets one chance and it's in.
Yeah.
And like granted, a lot of those are like, Everton, Max Dowman puts the ball in, it's knocked down, Pickford makes a mistake and he's just there to, put it away.
Yeah. I
But
mean, hey man,
but no,
look.
yeah.
Just to cut you off, there ain't a bastard in Real Madrid squad that's there to put that ball away. So I'll take it. I get what you're saying, but
Yeah, and I don't want to be hypocritical and like look down on that type of goal and scoring that way because we've missed that,
yeah,
in a lot of like the
that's what
last.
the whole fan base was begging for last year.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, like I'm cool with it. I have not been very hard on him,
No,
and I I think a lot of this what he gets is like undeserved, honestly,
I agree.
because I didn't, obviously I'm hoping he comes in and puts up 25, 30,
Yeah,
like in the league,
yeah.
with his numbers, but I wasn't fooled by the numbers thinking that that was going to translate anywhere
No,
near that.
there's no
Like,
way.
you know, I I felt it was going to be, especially because we brought in so many other pieces this year, it was always going to be it's going to take time. And I've thought for a while now that I think next year he's going to be a lot better and look
I agree. I
a
think
lot
he's
more
a
comfortable.
15 to 20 goal a season striker in just the Prem. I'm sure he'll get more in other comps. I think he can be a 15 to 20 goal a season striker. But what I think is that there is such an over reliance on him to score. Like, I'm not seeing enough end product come from Martinelli or Saka or because I remember a couple of years ago, there was a season where I think Martinelli and Saka had 15 or more goals.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 22, 23. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when the goals are being divided amongst like a lot of members in the squad, it almost takes pressure off the forward. But when it's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah. I
like
I actually I don't feel like I am putting me personally, like when I watch these games, I'm not like, you know, it's him or we're not going to win.
yeah,
Like,
no.
I'm a lot of the times when he gets a goal, I'm kind of like pleasantly surprised,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool. Like I always want him to
Yeah.
because I like him, but yeah, I haven't put too much pressure on him personally just
Yeah.
because I I've been hyper aware of this situation,
Yeah.
in terms of the striker with us for a couple of years, and I always just felt like, aside from Isak, there weren't a lot of strikers that I thought were going to come in and like just instantly,
Yeah.
you know, turn things around for us. And there's so many other issues, and we'll get into it because I was blown away by some of the individual play in the Champions League this week from
Yeah,
attackers.
yeah.
Like I was like, wow, man. Like there is,
Some
it kind of
don't get me started on Elise.
dude, it changed my mind, kind of like the direction I've been going. Like in a lot of the last few podcasts, I keep bringing it up about, these players kind of being dead and gone, like that,
Yeah,
this like
yeah,
game-changing playmaker. But it was on, full show this week. But just to round off the FA Cup game, like yeah, we've got issues for sure. I think that they show themselves more prominently in a knockout setting where it's 90 minutes and you're done. It's not a full season where you can recover in the next week or, you
yeah,
know, type of thing. So, yeah, honestly, at this point I kind of don't mind that we're out of the cups. I mean, I'm upset that we didn't win the final that we were in,
yeah,
but I'm not too bothered honestly about being out of the FA Cup. I wanted to win that, but like it was just honestly it was a game that I could not get up for. Um and yeah, like I'm just kind of ready to like let's
yeah,
just focus on these two competitions. Like we know this isn't like the last few years. We know we're good enough to go win either, if not both of these.
yeah,
So let's just lock in for these and stop messing around with these heavy rotations and all this kind of thing. So yeah, it was disappointing, but we moved from it. It was a nice we'll get to it, but it was a nice bounce back against Sporting.
yeah.
um
I didn't even get to see much of it in all honesty.
but I mean in the sense of the result, performance we'll get into, but
Yeah. Okay.
um yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with that one.
Okay. All right, sweet. Let's get a little bit into City Liverpool. I know you and I discussed that you didn't get to see much of it. I got to see not the whole game, but a good amount. Um, and there's something I really want to get into because I think Liverpool is having very similar problems to Real Madrid. Now on Saturday, sorry, Manchester City beat Liverpool 4-0, as I'm sure you know and the viewers know. And like on FOTMob, the stats say it was 49% possession to 51, seven shots on target to five. But like watching the game, it didn't look close at all. Like that 40 or 51% possession that Liverpool had, like it didn't really look like it was in areas that were dangerous. At least this is from memory. We're recording this on the following Thursday, so it's been a while. But man, I'm just watching this City team and they're just like cooking. They're just destroying this Liverpool. And I don't want to sit here and be like, oh my God, City is so good, blah, 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 because the most terrible Real Madrid team in the last 5, 6 years also beat them. Now, I'm not going to say that we outplayed them. I'm not going to say that we're crazy. It was like a miracle once in a lifetime hat trick from our center mid, who's been playing right mid. And then the next game, we barely won. It was 2-1. They were still in it, even with a man down. They were still creating opportunities and hurting us. They just didn't put them away. And then Vinny missed about 11 chances and then scored in the last minute to get our first win at the Etihad ever, I'm pretty sure, in regular time. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not,
Madness.
but yeah, that's crazy.
Madness. So what I'm trying to get at though, I refuse to believe that the team that won the Premier League 10 months ago just randomly became this bad. I think that Liverpool has the same problem as Madrid, or as Madrid did have a couple of months ago. The players don't want to play for the coach. I truthfully think. I think there was that phase where when him and Salah had that public beef, like even before that, but once it got made public, it got even worse. I think there's Team Slot and I think there's Team Salah, and I think the majority of the players are Team Salah just because he's been around and what he's done for the club and all that good stuff. But it's just like, man, I'm looking at this lineup and I'm just like, Ekatike, good player, right? Not world beater, good player. Wirtz started the season pretty slow. He's been picking up form. We all know what he did at Leverkusen. Decent player. I'm not going to say good player because he hasn't shown it all year. Salah, we know who Salah is. He hasn't had the greatest year, but it's Salah. Soboslai, one of their best players. I think one of the best midfielders in the Prem. Gravenberch, I think he's a good six. Curtis Jones, good squad player. Kirkes has had a really rough year at left back. Van Dijk, one of the best center backs of the last decade. Kanate, player. I'm not the biggest fan of him. Joe Gomez, decent off the bench. They've got a good keeper in goal. Gakpo's a terrorist. We won't get into Gakpo. McAllister, World Cup winner. Good player. Was really pivotal in their title win last year. Frimpong, decent player. Chiesa. Like, they've got a squad. How do you go from winning the Premier League 10 months ago in the manager's first season to being this bad? And you know what the worst part is? This Liverpool team beat us a couple months ago. I don't even want to get into that. But what I'm trying to say is, I truthfully think that the players, whether it's Salah, whether it's Robertson, whether it's whoever, they're not really rocking with him, and they're trying to get him sacked. What do you think about this? Because I know you're obviously me and you both like I like United in the Prem, and you obviously want Arsenal to win the Prem. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. It's been interesting watching this unfold this season with them because it's such a unique thing that we haven't really seen before
Yeah,
with, you know,
at least in recent times.
yeah, we haven't really seen a team with such high expectations, having accomplished so much, the year before,
Just
just nosedive,
yeah,
especially with the injection of of that amount of money and quality into the team. And I will say I I was a little bit sort of maybe I don't want to say brainwashed, but like I think reasonably so, fearing Liverpool going into the season,
yeah,
in terms of the title race,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
at the beginning of the season, I didn't have us as favorites, right? I didn't walk into it saying like, yeah, we're going to. I thought it would be a bit of a shootout between us and Liverpool.
Yeah,
Um, but at the same time, I do remember thinking like, I just don't get this recruitment
yeah, it
as
didn't make
just,
sense.
you know, between Verts, I mean, that I got, but that amount of money, and then you are playing, you're screwing around playing these back and forth games with Newcastle over Isak, over Ekitike. You end up getting them both. You're sort of you're flexing your muscles with all this money and showing who's who in the food chain. But it's like it just felt like a lot of bark.
Yeah,
Like it felt like just talk and like for show. Because I'm
they
like,
didn't
what?
even seem like necessary signings, like at all.
One of them, sure, but
I
both,
didn't feel like they needed. I didn't. I personally thought Verts. I think Verts is a good player, but I don't think Verts was the right guy to replace Luis Diaz. I don't see a world where you need Ekitike and Isak.
especially, yeah, and you have glaring holes
And
across the squad. Like you just lost Trent,
yep.
and you have injected. I mean, you thought you were going to inject creativity with Verts, but it hasn't worked out. So you're missing that huge now, right? And you've seen Salah suffer from that 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Like
Yeah.
him and Frimpong have no idea what they're doing on that right wing
They both
together.
they both want to do the same thing.
Yeah, and it's like you don't that worked it because Trent had the ability to put it anywhere for Salah, and he did it quickly, he did it directly, and Salah's just a runner. Like he didn't have to, he's perfect. He didn't have to beat anybody one on one. He just had to be faster
Yeah.
and have enough skill to
Control
bring the
it.
ball in, yeah,
Yeah.
and go and finish. But yeah, I mean, they had glaring holes in the in the back line that they didn't address. I know they were going after Gahey, but even that, honestly, I don't know if that would have been enough
No.
because the outside back situation has been so dismal for
Yeah.
them.
I saw the only one that made sense to me was Kirkez, and he ended up being like the worst performing of the players they signed.
Yeah,
Because like they wanted like a player who's played in the Prem at left back, high energy, up and down the field, blah blah blah. And you look at Kirkez, you're like, perfect. It's like the ideal signing.
yeah.
And I don't know if it's like what it is, but like I think a lot of it is like the expectations of the shirt. Like I know it's corny, but like a lot
Mhm.
of these people will say like the shirt is heavy. And like when you come from Bournemouth to a club like Liverpool, no disrespect to Bournemouth, like the expectations are night and day, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we've seen the same thing with Hoyson. Like Hoyson,
As
he
a
signed from Bournemouth, and night and day. Like he's come in, like yeah, everyone's hyping him up. He's 20, he's decent player, blah blah blah. But there's a lot of weaknesses to his game, and he's almost a little too nonchalant, and it's showed, and that's why he's been in and out of the team and getting injuries, and he's had some nightmare moments like in a Madrid kit. So that's a big one, and I think the bringing in that many new players to a system that already worked
yeah,
hindered them. Like I think it did more damage than it did good. And obviously, clearly, yeah, because they're
yeah.
no longer first place; they're in fifth.
Yeah,
So,
and
mm,
I think that we maybe didn't add the same like the same quality in the sense of like it was a collective thing, right?
yeah,
It was, with us, it was like all the pieces in place to just cover every crack, basically.
it was depth signings mostly as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. It was just like we
Obviously,
were
a
just
big name
trying to,
was Gyökeres.
yeah, yeah. But like they it feels like they went for, okay, this guy is going to, you know, Isak's going to come in and he's going to be the best player on our team, essentially. You know, he's going to come in, he's going to be the best striker in the league with Holland. And even Kirkez and Frimpong, it's like it felt like, these are sensible signings, but there's like a lot of talent here. And they're just gonna, everybody's just gonna jump, be ready, like they're ready to
It's
go.
like they're a kid in a candy store. Like they just picked a little bit of everything. Like we'll take this guy, we'll take this, we'll take this, we'll take
Yeah,
this. Not
it's like
necessary.
it didn't feel like it didn't feel smart to me. And to answer your initial question, I think that's the biggest problem for
Yeah,
me because I feel like we're watching Slot do a lot of weird things. Like, I don't really like the like Frimpong at right wing. I've seen quite a lot with them, and it's like, dude, if you've got Frimpong on the right wing, you got Gakpo on the left. Like, it feels so lopsided. He's not really like, it worked in Leverkusen's, you know, system because they when they won the league, it felt like they played a lot like we did in 22-23. Like it was just like this total football
yeah,
rotations, everybody everywhere kind of thing.
yeah,
But Liverpool has never been that.
yeah.
It's always just been like high octane, high intensity press from the front, you know,
Chaos,
chaos,
heavy metal
quality.
football.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything like too developed or like involved with the outside backs. It was just like, Robertson bombing up, whipping balls into the box. Same thing with Trent, you know, and then they relied on a two in the back with like a, Fabinho or whoever sitting there in front. And like now I just don't think that I don't think he has the options to do as many, try as many things. With the squad, and when he does, like they feel forced and unnatural and not like really not clever really, just like it almost never seems to come off for them when he's trying new things
Yeah,
um with the lineup or whatever the setup. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it's like it's so unbalanced there. And I'm not, there could be issues. I would imagine there are issues with personnel and with the squad morale and stuff. But I think for me, that's more down to just the results, you
yeah.
know. Like I don't know because, it's if things are going well and you don't have to be best friends and love each other, but if you can work together and you don't have to be like, oh, this guy is like my best friend in the world. Like we see that at Arsenal. It's like, oh, everybody's loves everybody and like I love my players. See Arteta talking like a Sesame Street character in in his interviews. Honestly, it's like we love everybody and everybody's great and nothing is wrong with anything. And it's like, no, dude, like
There is no war in Boxing
it's
Day.
like, yeah, right. It's like, bro, please stop. That's a crazy reference. Yeah, dude, it's like, no, man, they played like shit. Like they're grown ass men. Tell them they played like shit
Yeah,
and don't lie to me. I watched that. I
Yeah,
watched
man.
all. You're not fooling anybody, dude. It's like,
Dude, it's the same with Arbeloa. Like we'll put up the most stinker performance, and you can clearly tell it's because the players just aren't fucking trying.
yeah,
And Arbeloa's like, it's my responsibility. We lost because of me. I'm like, all right, bro. Yeah, sure you did. I'm sure Dictator Mbappe is waiting in the locker room with a whip, just in case that's not what you said. Have you
yeah,
seen the
yeah,
Dictator Mbappe memes?
yeah. I have. Yeah, they're funny. Um, yeah, but yeah, I think Liverpool obviously has issues. I'm interested to see what they do this summer.
Yeah.
Especially depending on where they land in the Champions League spots or if they don't.
With
So
7 games left, they're in fifth, which is a Champions League spot, point ahead of Chelsea.
I it's too way too early to call, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely messed up there. And
And
City,
3 points ahead of Brentford. Imagine a world where Brentford gets a Champions League spot. That's a madness. Oh, and
that
Everton. Everton's tied on points as well. That's more realistic. I think they've been in it, like, or were back in the day, but it's been a while. That's nuts. Anyways, go on.
no, yeah, I mean maybe just to turn to City a little bit. I I think it's going to heat up in the league in the next few weeks. I mean,
Sure.
obviously, right this weekend we've got Bournemouth and they have Chelsea, and then after that, I believe the week after is when we play them at Etihad. So it seems like they're getting hot. Obviously, recently they beat us. It's a psychological win, and it was definitely a dampener for us. But I that's the thing. Like with them, I could see them now two competitions, out of the Champions League. So they're really only playing on weekends now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could see them, pulling it together for the last 5 weeks and
I
putting a
mean, they
run
do it every
together.
year, man. They're usually not as good at the beginning of the season, then really good at the end.
Yeah, well, usually that run with them would have started by now. It would
Yeah.
have started like a month or two ago,
Yeah.
and usually by now, by this point, like they're just win after win after win.
Yeah.
But and that's I never thought that they were capable of that really, except maybe around Christmas time they were picking up form, and you
Yeah.
thought, okay, maybe they'll hit it here, but they didn't end up doing that. And but that's the thing is like at this point, I think that this amount of games they're capable of
Yeah, for sure.
putting something together, and that's a little worrying for me. I mean, it would still be disastrous if we lose it from here in the league, but yeah, man, let's just like you know, I've never discounted them on this, on the show with, talking to you, talking
Yeah.
to other people watching games like and there's a reason for that because mostly Pep because of Pep. But they still have a lot of talent in that squad and saw it in the final, saw it this weekend.
Yeah.
Uh we saw it in the second leg against you. Like they can still do something, and they
Bro,
didn't put
with
away a
10
lot of.
men. With 10
Yeah,
men, they were causing us trouble.
no, they're a good team. They're dangerous. They have all the pieces they need to put a run together. They're getting some guys back from injury, so yeah, man, it's gonna be a slog for the last couple weeks, but
Yeah.
um we'll have to see.
Okay. All right. Let's get into a little bit of the La Liga action. So, who is the boogeyman team for Arsenal? Is it Newcastle? Every year you guys drop points to Newcastle at least once.
It 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 kind of it's a couple teams. Yeah, it's like Newcastle, like Villa sometimes,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
um Bournemouth on occasion,
Yeah.
Southampton.
Yep. So
Um
our boogeyman team, and I could have told you this 8 months ago, who we were gonna drop points to. Mallorca is one of them. We drop points to Mallorca every year, at least one game.
yeah.
Another one of our boogeyman teams is Valencia. I think we beat them home and away this year, which is really nice. I think that's the first time we've done that in over a decade. I think. Yeah, Valencia suddenly turns into like 2002 Brazil every time they play us. I don't know why, but they just hate us so much. And then they play Barcelona and they lose 7-1. Like true, even like I'm talking like even 16, 17 Madrid, like noodle hair
Mhm.
Ronaldo Madrid was struggling against Valencia, but then Barcelona would go and just annihilate them because they just. I swear, people are gonna think I'm delusional. I swear, I've seen the best of the best Madrid teams struggle against Valencia, and then that same Valencia team just get demolished by Barca. They just don't care enough to try against Barca. They only want a result against us. It's super frustrating. I hate it so much, but it is what it is. So we played at Mallorca, and we lost in the most predictable fashion ever. We lost 2-1. Morici with a 90 plus one goal. Um, Big target man. I don't know if you're familiar with Morici. He's like a 6'5", huge, enormous man with a ponytail. Causes us trouble. Really hard to mark in the box. Um, and yeah, I say this every single season for the last 3 years. We need a striker. We need a target man because we can't convert chances. We don't have one. And then every single time we play a team that low blocks and counters and has a target man, they punish us. And that was exactly what happened, unfortunately. He's 6'4", 31 years old. He's scored 19 goals in La Liga this season. He's not a nobody.
Are
Like the
they
guy's
like are they like relegation?
yes, and we
Like
lost.
ish.
Let me
Yeah.
check. Let me confirm. He's a good striker, man. He scores it on us every time. La Liga table. They are 16th. They are 2 points safe from relegation. I really want Valencia to get relegated, but they're 6 points. Praying to the gods they get relegated. I would give anything. I would watch Barcelona win La Liga for the next 10 years if it meant Valencia got relegated. I'd be the happiest human on earth. Um, but yeah, getting back into that, it's just predictable. It's just really, really bad defending on our part. Nick was texting us in the chat the other day wondering about like Kamavinga and all that stuff. Dude, I'm tired of Kamavinga. Like the way you guys feel about Odegaard, I feel about Kamavinga. Constantly injured all the damn time. I'm like, bro, you're 21. Fuck reason do you have to be injured? Like, bro, you're
Is
still
he really
spit.
21 still?
Yeah, bro, we signed him when he was like 18 or 17.
Man. Okay.
He's still a baby. But I'm tired. He makes silly mistakes. He loses his man on defense all the time. And he's 23, sorry. I'm tweaking. But he's been in terrible form all season. He's in and out of the squad and honestly, he's not giving me any reason to justify keeping him in the starting lineup. Thiago Pitarch, a Castilla product, has been starting over Camavinga, and he's actually been doing okay. Um, Now it's just sloppy defending. Trent got beat as I predicted he would, and he was at fault for us conceding to Mallorca, just as he was at fault for us conceding to Bayern when he let Luis Diaz just get in behind him like he was a ghost, like he was a cone. I'm like, dude, we're paying a cone this much money. Like everyone that knows me knows I didn't want Trent. I talked to you about it. I talked to Nick about it. I
Yeah.
talked to all my homies about it. I never wanted us to sign Trent. I wanted Hakimi, as everyone knows. Knows the league, knows the club. He's literally a Madrid youth product. Um, Won a Champions League with us before he left in 2018. And I'm just like, okay, this is who I want. And we didn't get him. We went and signed the worst defensive fullback on earth when we're a team that can't defend anyways. Doesn't make sense. Still don't have a target man. I watched Mbappe score a goal at the back post, I think the first time in his Madrid career. And against Bayern of all people. Like, bro, who would have thought that running to the back post might get you a goal? It's kind of nuts. I don't like, bro. It really just can't be that hard to get to the back post. It just can't. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So yeah, in typical Madrid fashion, I'm looking at the stats here. We had 64% possession to their 36. They had 2 shots on target. They scored both. We had 6 shots on target. We scored one, and it was a 88th minute header by Militao. Now, that was Militao's first game in like 5 months. And I could have told you 7 months ago that the only way we were scoring against this team was off of a set piece or a header. And if Militao didn't play in this game, I would have told you we wouldn't have even scored. But I'm like, okay, Rudiger's on the field, Militao's on the field. We'll probably get one off of a corner. And that was exactly what happened. Um, So that puts us in La Liga. And that same day, Barcelona beat Atletico 2-1. Now I don't know if you controversially saw the controversy. Gerard Martin got a red, which was a clear red, and then VAR overturned it and he got a yellow. I don't know if you saw that. Studs literally
Mm,
imprinted in the Atletico Madrid player's shins. Like he goes in to hit the ball, hits the ball, but then his studs go all the way through the guy's shin, like really deep, like crunches his shin. The ref's like, yeah, that's red. The guy's on the floor screaming like he just got shot.
yeah.
Clear as day. Then he goes to VAR, watches the studs enter this man's membrane. I don't think that's the right word, but whatever. I'm gonna go with it. And he's like, you know what? My bad, yo. Take a yellow instead. And I'm like, okay, cool. Typical Barcelona. It is what it is. Get a look at it on YouTube when you get a chance. And I was on the phone with Mustafa the other day, and I'm like, all right, bro. In La Liga, we already know Atletico was never beating Barca. They want Barca to win so that Madrid doesn't win the league. We know this, right? They do it on purpose. I swear. Anyone in the comments wants to say something otherwise, go ahead. You're a moron. You have no idea what you're talking about. Atletico Madrid, intention. If you look at their head to head, brother, look. Okay. The last time Atletico Madrid beat Barcelona was in February. It was a 4-0 win in Copa del Rey. Knockout competition that Madrid was already out of. So Atletico's like, okay, we actually have a chance of winning this. Let's actually try. So they beat Barca. Now they're in the Copa del Rey final. Obviously, the last time they beat them was Wednesday, but before that. Now, if we look at all the previous games before that, Barcelona 3-1 win. Barcelona 1-0 win. Barcelona 4-2 win. 4-4 tie. 2-1 win in La Liga in 2024. That's one for Atletico besides that one. Barca 3-0, Barca 1-0, Barca 1-0, Barca 1-0, Barca 4-2. In 20 and so you'd have to go from 2024. You'd have to go all the way back to October of 2021 for the last time that they beat Barca in La Liga. And I'm just like, okay, interesting. Half the time they beat Barca, it's either in the Spanish Super Cup, a Copa del Rey, Champions League knockout stages. If it's like a knockout competition, they're actually so much better against Barca. If it's a league game, they're like, whatever, we don't want Madrid to win the league. Let's just give Barca 3 points. Every year. Every year, this is how it is. And I'm sick of it. Now, that's my conspiracy. Say what anyone can say what they want. I don't care if people believe it or not. But finally, Simeone avenged all the pain and suffering that he's caused us. And he actually beat them again in the Champions League. Now, I guarantee you, come Tuesday, Barcelona's going to win the game freaking 3-0. Like, it's already written in the stars. Lamine Yamal dive, gets a penalty. Simeone gets a red. The other Simeone gets a red. Freaking whatever. It is what it is. But hey, at least we got to witness them lose once. I'm watching people argue the Kubarsi red card. Like he's the last man. He clipped both his heels. The guy's through on goal one on one with the keeper. If he doesn't get his heels clipped, how is it not a red? But it is what it is. It's nice to see Barca take an L as always. If I'm looking at the stats here, Barca was obviously, had more of the ball. 67% of the ball, 33 to Atletico, 8 shots on target for Barca, 2 for Atletico. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong game. I'm a moron. Oh, this
Looking
is
at a
the this.
2021 game.
No, no, I'm looking at the game that Barca won. This is good. If we look at and we'll get into this a little bit more detail later. If we look at the game that Atletico won 2-0, they had more possession, Barca did, but less than they did in the first game. If we're looking at the shots on target, it was 7-3. Atletico scored 2 of their 3 shots on target. But it's like Thought Mob can obviously be a bit misleading because shots on target doesn't mean they were high quality chances. Just
Yeah, yeah.
on target. So I don't know. Atletico hustled. They had that dog, and then they worked really hard. It's really nice to see them do it against Barca for once, as opposed to always just against us. But that is, it's nice. It's comforting. If I'm looking at the La Liga table, we are now 7 points. Now, I predicted at the beginning of the year Barcelona was going to win the Liga. We are 7 points behind them. To any
And
moron that predicted that Madrid was going to win the league, Mustafa, I'm talking to you. You are the biggest idiot I've ever met in my life. I love you, but you're dumb as hell. There was no way we were winning La Liga. There's just no chance. Even when Xabi first signed, before all that drama, before all that beef happened, I'm like, bro, our squad is incomplete. We don't have the pieces. We're 2 injuries away from not even winning against relegation clubs. And here we are. We just lost to a relegation club. So, and you know what? Hold on. If they drew that game, they would be 1 point above relegation. If they lost that game, they would have been in the relegation zone. We took them out of relegation. So yeah, Mustafa, you're an idiot, but I love you. So that's really all I've got on La Liga, and I'm not going to repeat the same nonsense garbage. We don't have a center forward. Everyone's heard me say this a million times. We don't have a solid defense, and we don't have anyone that can control the midfield besides Arda Güler. We're relying on my 20-year-old Turkish friend who just signed for the club 2 years ago to dictate our midfield instead of Cruz and Modric.
Yeah,
And he
I
is a
was
good
that
player.
that's what I've been thinking the whole time you've been talking is like more more than anything, I think in your squad is you're missing like that establishment
Yeah.
of like you could say Rudiger, but it's like not really the same, I feel, because he doesn't strike me as like he identifies with the club in the same way as like a Ramos,
No. You know
Varane.
why?
Well, because they came up from young.
Well, no, but it's also Rudiger actually cares about defending. Like Rudiger is a passionate defender. He gets joy out of winning the ball. He gets joy out of making the difference on defense. When I look at this is why Spanish soccer has brainwashed the world. In this day and age, I hate you so much, Pep. It is more valuable. Like if you really think about it, there isn't like genuinely top class defenders. They're all just center mids that couldn't play center mid. So they got stuck
You
as
mean
center back.
in Spain?
It's in Spain and in the world as a whole. Like it's like being able to play out of the back is more valued as a center back almost than defending. Like, is it really? Have we genuinely? We've lost the plot, bro. We're more concerned about playing penetrative passes in the midfield than marking your man at the back post. It's just basic defending, bro. It's actually ridiculous. Like I've got Barca fans talking about Pablo Kubarsi's gonna win a Ballon d'Or because he can pass the ball to the center defensive mid. Great. Well, every time I watch the fucking dumbass defend, he either fouls someone, pulls their shirt, makes a clumsy challenge, blah blah blah. It's the same with Araujo.
Yeah, he's
Same,
not a good
same with
player.
Araujo. It's the same with Hoyson. Yes, the ball looks so beautiful at his feet. You know what else I've seen? I've seen Howson lose headers as a 6 foot. He's 6'5". He's 6'5". I've seen Hoyson lose. Yes, look it up. I swear to God. I've seen Hoyson miss out on headers at the back post to strikers that are 5'9" and 5'10". We've lost the plot, brother. We've lost the plot. We've lost the plot. Look at Chelsea's center backs. They're dreadful,
That
but they can pass the ball from point A to point B.
no,
But
they
they
can't though. Not that's no.
sometimes they can. Sometimes
I
they can.
I'm gonna do this is something that where we this is a rare disagreement between you and I.
Yeah.
I don't see that maybe the same way that you do. I don't know.
That they
I
can't play
think
with the ball.
no, I don't think that defensive like intuition and skill and like know-how is lacking so much as maybe it's becomes maybe individual defending is is taking a bit of a hit.
That's what I'm getting at. That
Yeah, but I think it's partly because it's such a, it's not like it used to be basketball games like, Van Dyke will clean up anything, kind of situation anymore. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like in teams that do have that, like, like we have at, points in this season, the last few years with like Rice, Saliba, and Gabrielle, you see how much you benefit from that
Yeah, because they
because
can
we
clear the ball. They can head the ball. They can stay with their man. It's so nice.
yeah, but it's also, I mean, it's a little bit of it's intelligent, aggressive defending
Yes.
where you're not going, your first thought isn't let me just clear this guy out. It's like I'm gonna get in front of him. I'm going to force him a certain way,
I'm gonna
and
delay him so the
I'm going
rest
to
of the team
delay
can get
him.
back.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to delay him. I'm going to, shut down the space, cut the angle, and get a block in when I can, put my body on the line, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
But I think a lot of what you're seeing is like more an effect of, yeah, it's partly what you're saying about, like playing out of the back and players like Trent who are like, he's like a 10 at right back kind of thing.
yeah,
But I think a lot of these deficiencies come more from like being what they want to do on the ball and less from like they don't have the ability to defend. I'm tr maybe like a Trent, Cabarsi, Araujo is like a different thing in terms of ability,
yeah,
but I think if you take a player like, I mean, I've seen Gabriel make mistakes and Ben White, Timber recently. I mean Ben White recently, Timber at times, Calafiori, just because. And these guys all have the ability to defend well one on one and as a unit, but
you guys took all of them. There's none left for anyone else to
yeah,
take.
yeah, no, but I'm saying like just in general, like you see, like with Chelsea too, like they're trying to be brave on the ball, but they don't have the ability to do it.
They don't,
And they're not good
and they don't have the
defenders
ability to
collectively.
defend.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a different situation. But I think generally you're seeing like players caught out of position because they're trying to affect the game with the ball, on the ball. You know, Eh, yeah, I'm not saying that. I just think relative to like what we see on the other side of things offensively, like that's where, we've been harping about it. I've been talking about it, where we see like I don't think a lot of these players have the ability
yeah.
or the
No,
like,
yeah, and that's exactly what I'm getting at. Like, truthfully, they
yeah,
just are incapable of like the force your man one way, stay with your man at the back post, actually clear the ball with your head as a 6'5" center back. Like
yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. I'm not blaming it on like the defensive cohesion as a unit. Like that's all up to the coach, really. But
Hmm.
I'm saying like player for player individually, I'm not seeing as many center backs that are doing the defensive basics correctly. I'm seeing
Yeah,
lots of just silliness, rash tackles. Like Real Madrid was linked with Kanate for a bit. I'm like, please no, please. He's so
yeah,
rash in his tackle. His decision making is so silly. Like, okay, he's all right on the ball. What he's an athlete for sure, but he's not a good defender. Right? I think the
yeah,
same thing about Upamecano. Like he should have been sent off against us, I'm pretty sure. Or was it Jonathan Tah? Somebody scraped down Kylian Mbappe's calf from behind with the studs and cut it open and he started bleeding. And he also fouled Vinny in the box with a really rash tackle and we didn't get a penalty for it. Keep in mind, I didn't watch the whole thing and I was watching it like while I was getting ready for work. So I might have seen wrong or missed something. But it's like I'm seeing all these defenders make rash tackles, and I will never understand what it's like to defend players like Vinny and Mbappe, like 99 pace, 5-star skills. I'm I have nowhere near that ability. I never will, right? And I never have in the past. So I don't know what that's like. I'm sure it's extremely, extremely, extremely difficult to defend these sorts of players. But that's what I'm saying though, is like Real Madrid is never going to get anywhere with these kinds of PR. And I think a lot of clubs, like if everyone's just looking for the next ball playing prodigy, like you're going to give up a lot at the back just for that simple dog shit reason. Like freaking I actually think Rudiger is a very good defender. Like, yeah, say what you want about him. He's violent. He's great. That's what being a good defender entails. Can he do a little bit too much of it? Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit silly. But he gets tight to his man. He's aggressive. He shows him one way. He doesn't dive in. He stays on his feet. I rarely see Rudiger make slide tackles. Like, rarely.
yeah.
Because he
I mean,
doesn't
it's
need to.
it's like it's Ramos and Pepe. Like they have the
Yeah.
most red cards of anybody on the planet Earth in all of history, but they're two of the greatest of all time. Like,
Yeah. And like, even like as a whole, like Ramos is an unbelievable defender, but like he wasn't as good one-on-one defending as I would even say Rudiger. He wasn't as good one-on-one defending as Van Dijk because he didn't have the F. I'm not saying Ramos isn't an athlete. He just wasn't an athlete to their level.
yeah,
But
yeah,
he was also smarter at defending. Now, not all the time. The dude had 22 red cards. Sometimes he's just a moron. No disrespect, Ramos. I love you. But Like he was an intelligent player for the most part, right? 22
Yeah.
red cards aside. And that's also 22 red cards over a 25-year career. So we can cut the guy some slack. But like genuinely, dude, like I'm not like I think Saliba has that level of defending. Gabriel, Rudiger, but he's been in and out of the team. Militao most of the time, but he has more lapses of concentration with the ball. Um, Once again, like you were saying, somebody who's a suspect or what's the word? A, whatever. Somebody who's suffering as a result of this trying to play out of the back all the dang
Yeah,
time.
yeah. A victim of the
A victim
yeah.
of it, yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word victim, but I'm a victim watching this Madrid team. But yeah, so I don't know how I got off on that weird tangent. I'm sorry did for so long. Let's get into the Champions League games, starting off with Tuesdays. I just went off for so long, so let's have you start with Arsenal Sporting. I didn't get to see
Yeah.
it, so
Yeah, I mean, it was copy paste like you know, a lot of the performance looked the same again, It wasn't I thought about it the other day. I think we've had probably somewhere around 80 to 90% of our games this season have been almost the exact same performance.
yeah.
And I think we've had 5 to 10% that are worse and 5 to 10% that are better. You know what I mean? So like it's just so weird like trying to I feel like I look at I'm almost looking at the context of the games more than I'm looking at the performance at this point because I'm getting like the same thing every time. So I have to adjust, right? So this it was nothing special. It was like marginally better than the weekend against Southampton. I mean, I couldn't really pick out a player that stood out aside from Raya really, who had I will get into it because I want to do say something about him in isolation. But yeah, nothing special. I mean, Odegaard was the bar is so low for him now. Like a lot of people, it seems like it's been divided online and like what I'm seeing, people talking about his performances lately in this game, like. Some people, like I said, want him out or done with him. Some people are like, "Oh no, he looked good. He looked lively." I'm like, I'm not seeing it, man.
I
Like,
really just think the creativity was coached out of him. I'm gonna be
he,
honest.
yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, he's had a lot of injury issues too, and he's kind of fragile. So I think it's got a part to play. But I would be interested to see what happens with him if we can bring in somebody like a Kvaratskhelia or like a Due or a Barcola or something. It just if we can enhance the attack a little bit, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, so on the performance, like I said, there weren't a lot of standouts on the ball going forward. We didn't make very many chances at all. I think we had less than 5 shots on target. Um, and I was frustrated watching it. I'm a little bit. I I I think afterwards, after having nicked the win and having a couple of days to think on it, I'm a bit more forgiving of the situation just because we got it done. In the end, we brought in some quality off the bench and we had a moment that got us, broke the deadlock, got us ahead. We're in a good position going into the second leg at home. Um, I got because of the performances, I got a little bit like over invested in my expectation, I think, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm at the point now, like watching that game, I'm not thinking about it really for like what it is in terms of, okay, it's an away tie to a solid
They're good.
European, a
They're
solid
slept on.
European team. Yeah, a solid European team. I mean, they knocked us out of the Europa League a couple years ago at home.
And
Saw what they did.
they play nice. nice
Yeah,
football.
they play good football. I mean, we saw what they did against Bodo in the second leg. Like, and Bodo
Team
was,
that
you
City,
know,
Inter, and Atletico couldn't beat, by the way.
yeah, yeah. I think even maybe PSG they got a result.
I don't remember.
Maybe I don't know, but yeah, they had, big results. They did well in the league phase. They're a solid team. They replaced Gyökeres with this Luis Suarez guy who's popping off. He's got yeah, the name's funny. But yeah, like they're a solid team for sure. Like it wasn't an easy game. I didn't expect it to be. But yeah, like if you think about it that way, you can forgive, maybe not blowing them out of the water or, showing kind of flexing our muscles and showing like what we are supposed to be at this point in the
Yeah.
competition, which is a top three team in the competition. What we showed in the league phase,
Mhm.
which was pretty much dominance, where we did see a lot of good performances. So yeah, I looking back on it now, it's a good result for sure.
Yeah.
I think we played it pretty sensibly, but I hesitate to give too much credit to like Arteta and the team because that's how we seem to play every game is just like we want to keep ourselves in it. The other team that playing that way keeps the other team in it too a lot of time. But it's results have been it's been working. So, okay, fair enough. I at this point in the season I've accepted it. Like I'm not insane. I'm not gonna drive myself insane, like, worrying about it too much. But yeah, at the same time I'm still looking for more just in some of these moments, man. Like, yeah. So maybe to get into a couple individuals, Ben White was horrendous. Which is a concern because Timber has played so many games in the last 2 years off the back of an ACL being out an entire season. Um, so we're missing Timber a lot right now. Um, no Saka injured currently, so Madueke starts. He had his pretty average performance as usual. Um, Trossard non-existent, disappointing. Gyökeres is out of the game, not there, non-existent, but kind of not his fault. Um, I do want to get into Raya though, like I said, because he is a baller. He
Yeah.
is the real deal, man. Like, I don't know if you saw his save in like the first 7 or 8 minutes, but watching it in real time, I'm
Oh,
just,
the one where the guy rocketed it and he just went and it hit the bar.
yeah, yeah. That is, look, it might have hit the bar anyway and gone out, but just to get a hand on that at that range, that power of the shot, and get
He
something
burned
on
the
it
goal.
to
Yeah.
make sure that it's ridiculous. And there was another one later in the game, a header at the near post that he got down quick for. The guy is, especially after two straight games of Kepa and
Yeah.
Kepa costing us,
Did he cost you
man.
guys both?
Well, no, but he not so much against Southampton, but it was like I'm talking more about the effect of just having him on the field instead of Raya in the mentality of the team. But whatever, the point being like uh, two games with Kepa we lose
Yeah.
is the point. But he comes back in and man, he is I honestly like he might be player of the year at this point. I mean, I can think of like off the top of my head, I can think of like 10 crucial saves, not just good saves, but big moments like, you know, game winning points winning saves.
Yeah.
And ridiculous double saves, we've seen for like the last 2 years. I mean, on top of all the other things he does so well, distribution and commanding the box, claiming, 50-50 balls and crosses into the box, like he's wicked and he has kept us in so many games, so many competitions this year. He goes so under the radar for me in terms of importance.
Got
He is
15
crucial.
in 31 Prem games. That's nuts. That's almost a
Yeah,
every other game.
he is, and that's not just the defense. That's a lot of that is him. Like,
Really?
I can think of Everton pretty early on. He has a couple of wicked saves. Like similarly, I think he tipped one on the crossbar type of thing. Um, the second game against Tottenham off the line at 3-1, could have, or maybe 2-1, could have changed the tie, and he scrambles, gets it off the line. I can think of a couple saves against Wolves and Villa, double saves, like great, point blank double saves on the line, like ridiculous stuff. Cunha low to his left, just he's been a like an octopus. He's crazy. So I wanted to shout him out because yeah, he's keeping us in the competitions that we're still in. He's keeping us competitive in games. He's giving us a chance. He's bailing us out left and right. And it's especially with a lot of the other keepers in the league that we've seen recently, like the Onanas and the Bayendirs and the Sanchez's, and even Allison has been questionable. Mama Dashvili has been questionable for Liverpool. Um, like it's that really stood out to me. So, um, but yeah, I mean, it was a good result. I'll talk about the goal a little bit. I don't know if you saw it, but it was really nice.
Yeah, it was the Martinelli coming inside
Yeah,
through, yeah.
him and it's two subs connecting, coming off the bench, making an impact, which you like to see.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that goal was impressive, and it's a little bit frustrating from Martinelli because I'm like, dude, can you do that a little bit more? Like,
Yeah.
he picks it up on the wing. Um, he realizes that he's fucking rapid and he says, well, you know what? Maybe I'll just run past them because I'm faster.
Yeah.
And then he puts in a perfect, perfect ball over the top to Havertz, who actually I think does really well. I mean, he's kind of on his own, but he's so close to the keeper that he easily, you can see him in your, corner of your eye and get a little uncomfortable bringing that ball in, but he kills it, slots it, great finish, great touch, great ball, great move. I wish I could see that a little more often, but
Yeah.
I'm glad we got it, and I do feel a lot better now into the second leg with that cushion.
Yeah.
Um, I think it makes it really difficult for Sporting to get back into. I know that they had to come back in the last round, but it's a different animal against us at home
For sure.
in the second leg because I believe that they had the second leg against Bodo in Sporting. So
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, good result. It's a big week. Got Bournemouth, and then we're back again at home. So I'm kind of, we've got one foot in the semifinal, which is good, but we got to go get the job done in the second leg. So yeah, I don't know if you have had anything that you maybe disagreed with or you saw that stood
No, I
out,
mean, I didn't
but
get to see most of it, but no, I mean, sounds about right. I think you hit the nail right on the head. Um, I think Arsenal just needs to come out and, not go guns blazing, but also I wouldn't just sit there and pack it in, even
mhm.
at home.
Yeah, we need to pose a threat and,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
keep them honest.
Yeah, so that's about it, really. I mean, getting into Madrid Bayern, like, man, uh, listen, FOTMOB is misleading. It says 52% possession for Bayern, 48 for us, and 8 shots on target for them and 9 for us. So it's saying that we had more shots, but they had more XG. Once again, possession, it's nice to have the ball. Where do you have the ball? Do you have the ball in front of the opponent's net, or are you just tippy tapping it around your own penalty box, giving up opportunities to the other team? I'm gonna be completely honest. This score line is very generous. They could have been up 3 or 4 nil in the first 15, 20 minutes. Like, did you watch it?
I know I saw some of the highlights and I did go back and watch like short portions of the game like around those highlights, but
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I can't say that I don't believe you necessarily because I know you watched probably the whole thing, but I did I mean, it did seem like though watching the highlights that I mean, you didn't have a lot of great chances. But there were a couple, I mean, it didn't look like you were completely toothless either. Like,
Yeah, no, no.
I mean, there were a couple, I mean, I remember Mbappe had a chance kind of off the right channel um, that he put low to the back post and Neuer goes down and makes a good save. And like, I think honestly that goes in a lot of the time because
Yeah, but it's Neuer.
yeah, but it's Neuer, so it's not, it looks easy.
Yeah.
But no, I
What I
mean,
will say is that like their chances were significantly better than our chances.
yeah, I mean they had the one early that Upamecano skied, right?
Upamecano like missed it on the line damn near.
Yeah, yeah,
Thiago
yeah.
Pitarch passed the ball right to Gnabry on the 6 yard line and Lunin saved it.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that stuff was all happening in the first 15, 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Elise had Carreras on ice skates. And I rate Carreras. Like, Carreras has locked down Yamal. Carreras has locked down, like, some pretty serious players. And Elise just made the guy look like he's never played the sport. Like, people want to blame the second goal on Carreras because he miscontrolled the ball out of the air. It was the worst pass I've ever seen in my life from Vinny. Vinny set it like a volleyball serve to Carreras in the middle of the field. Every player who's ever played knows, yo, if a ball is played that terribly in the air, coming up like this and dropping, it's a pressing trigger. So everyone just pressed Carreras. They won the ball out of the air and they scored. Trent losing his man like always, like he will continue to do, and we will continue to bleed goals. I don't care how good his passing is. I don't. I never wanted him at Madrid. It's incredibly frustrating to just not get these basics correct.
Yeah.
Um, and Vinny was at fault for two of the goals actually. Vinny gave it away both times, and then they went and scored. I think the defending could have been better? Yes. Do I think that they were still good enough to carve out ridiculous opportunities? Like, dude, I've never ever seen. Keep in mind, I've watched like Pep Barca teams. I've watched freaking Pep City teams. I have not seen a team play a rondo in our penalty box. These bastards were playing a rondo in our penalty box. Like it was ridiculous, man. Like yes, we hit them on the counter a bunch. Blah blah blah. Mbappe for the first time in his professional career got to the back post and scored a goal. Like cool, there's some positives. Bro, we're playing the second leg at the Allianz Arena. We're not like the score line is so generous. I understand we had chances, but their chances were like they should have been up by a lot more. Even though we had more shots on target than they did. Like some of them were decent, but most of them were tame. It was an entertaining game because it was kind of just like we're packing it in, and then we hit them on the counter, and they're kind of panicked as well because they're not as great at defending transitions. They're really not.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do have weaknesses, but I don't see us winning. Like it was to the point where my ex girlfriend's dad, who's a Bayern fan, as I'm sure you know, messaged me before the game, and I haven't talked to the guy in almost 2 years, but freaking he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, hope you enjoy the game today. Like, it'll be a fun one for sure. Good luck to Madrid." I'm like, "Thank you." And then he's like, "Yeah, my daughter's new boyfriend's better than you." And I'm like, "But no, just like, but yeah." He messaged me, and I'm just like thinking about it. I'm like, "This is probably the best Bayern team I've seen in a long time, besides maybe when Hansi Flick was with them and they had like that crazy squad and they won 6 trophies,
Hmm.
in 2020." So, yeah, they beat Barca 8-2. I love it, but. I don't know, man. I don't see any universe where we come back. I think this scoreline was very flattering. I think if we do come back, it's only because they didn't put away their chances this leg, which hey, I mean like that's what happens. That's what happens. That's on them. But I don't see a world where we come back, unfortunately. I do
Well,
want to yeah, go ahead.
well, just quickly. I mean, you said that about City
Madrid
too.
Magic, blah blah blah.
No,
Well, we
no,
had
no, not even that. There's you said that about City too, and you never know, you know. I mean, I don't think like the way you're talking to me, it sounds like Bayern do not fear you at all, and I don't think that's the
no,
case. I
they
think
do. They do.
It would be foolish and naive to not have some awareness and like contingency plan for these players.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying though, like, and I feel it too. Like I wouldn't be shocked if we go out at home to Sporting. So I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I don't know. My gut tells me it'll be closer than, and even if it's maybe flattering to you guys, but I think it'll be closer than you you think it might be. I don't not to speak for you and say that you think you're gonna get blown out. I know you just said that you don't think you're gonna come back, but um
Nah, I
I
love
don't
thinking
know.
we're gonna get blown out. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I don't know. That's the thing is like I see that, but I don't, you know, I wouldn't bet on it. And just for me, like I think that with the way I see your squad right now, and it's kind of been the case in a lot of years, albeit with like maybe a little bit more cohesion and better coaching. Um, but there's just so much quality on the pitch, and I don't care what you say about who can defend and who can't, and you know what Vinny's doing, what Mbappe's doing, how much they piss you off if he's a dictator. He's still one of the best players in the world. Vinny is still one of the best wingers in the world, no matter what kind of season he's been having. You
Yeah.
know, like these, they can hurt teams, they can hurt Bayern. And I mean, even Trent for your goal is like it's a wicked ball.
It
It's a
is. It
wicked
was a good
wicked
ball.
ball, and it's like you kind of can't. I mean, you can if you want, but I'm just saying like it's a little to me like yeah, we all know this guy can't defend,
Yeah.
but you will get something on the ball, I think, with
We
him.
will.
Like
We will.
if he's fit and if people are making the right runs, but like things like that moment from him, it's like, yeah, that's what you can get. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not like trying to force you to be too optimistic about it, but
No.
I'm just saying that I think it's more up in the air.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah.
No, I'm with you. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. Let's get into how long we've been at this? An hour and a half ish.
Yeah, a little less.
Yeah. All right. Let's try to get through these a bit just to close out the episode. Talk a little bit briefly about Atletico Barca. I know we discussed it earlier, just a tiny bit, but it's like it was a complete performance from Atletico. Like they defended well, they pressed cohesively, which is what they're known for, obviously. But it's like they hit Barca where it hurts. They target their weak spots, which I really appreciate, and I wish we would take note of that so that we can do it, but we don't because we don't have the pieces that are willing to defend or do the dirty
Mhm.
work like Atletico. But like it was a very, very complete performance from Atletico. Like I didn't think that Barca did much damage to them. I'll be honest. Like I know it says 7 shots on target, but like they also,
Really?
yeah, it's they seem tame. They just didn't give them
Huh.
space, and
I
Yamal had
don't
a stinker.
I I'm okay. I'm a little bit surprised to hear that because
Yeah.
I thought that Barca still looked dangerous even after going down a man.
I mean, they still
Pers
had the ball. I just didn't, it never really felt like they created anything too crazy with it. Like, I think the most difficult save that Musso had to make was one that came in from Rashford that he tried to wrap in the corner. And
Mhm.
he's like, and he just palmed it around the post. But like, Barca's always going to have the ball. Barca could go down to 9 men and they're going to have the ball. It's just like if you can defend well in the right areas, they're not going to penetrate you, especially without Rafinha. Now, if Rafinha's on this field, I think it's a different game.
Yeah.
I think no matter how well Atletico defends, I think no matter if they have 9 guys or 10 guys, Rafinha will make something on his own. He's just been that good the last 2 years.
Mhm.
So this is we're looking at a completely different game with Rafinha on the field, but like they're giving Yamal an 8.3. I watched Lamine Yamal turn the ball over 4 times in a row. by just trying to switch the ball and playing it straight to Molina or whoever the right back was. Yeah, Molina. I'm just like, dude, what do you do? And then he just get really mad and pull his shirt over his face, right? And I'm just like, I love it. So I don't know, like they had the ball, but and they were like in the attacking third. It's just nothing was. As soon as they took out Lewandowski, they lost their box presence, and they bought on Ferran Torres, who's a little bit of a different profile. They bought on Gavi, who is not a soccer player. He's just there to kick people. He does taekwondo. They subbed Pedri, hooked Pedri. People are telling me this guy's one of the best midfielders in the world, and in a game where they need 2 goals, they take him out. Yeah, best midfielder in the world, my ass. Crazy shouts from these Barca fans. It is what it is, though. Almo's all right. Rashford had an okay game. Like he was making chances, but I never felt like they were a serious threat. Now, you never know. I've seen them do it before. Granted, they probably paid the refs, but they could go into the next game and just win it 50-0, 5-0, 3-0, 4-0. Like, Una. Like just in the Copa del Rey the other day, Atletico won first like 4-0. Barca won second like 3-0. They almost pulled it off. So
Yeah.
you never know. Like Hansi Flick, I'm sure is telling them, like, guys, we almost did this like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just see this, maybe I just saw the game a little bit differently, but
I mean, I'm also
um
biased,
well
but
yeah, but I didn't think, I mean, I thought it was a good performance from Atletico, but I didn't think that they like, I didn't see it as comprehensively as maybe you did. I thought they defended well, yeah,
yeah.
but um I I didn't think that they really caused Barca too many problems going the other way either. You know,
No, they didn't.
as much as Barca maybe, you know, I mean it's a worldly free kick
Yeah,
from Alvarez, and the second goal is, you know,
yeah,
a little bit clumsy.
yeah.
I mean it's a good ball and it's a good finish, but it's like maybe the keeper should be doing a little better with that.
But that's like
Um
that's their bread and butter. It's like we don't need a lot of chances. We're just gonna be clinical with the chances that we do carve out. And what I will say
yeah,
about Atletico is they're one of the few teams that knows how to bypass that annoying high line that they play. Like Mbappe, one of the fastest human beings on earth, was offsides 9 times. I'm like, dude, you have to be a moron. Like, it's really just not that hard. You could be 5 yards ahead of the center back, like onside, and still get to the ball first. And he just couldn't figure it out. But like, I've seen Atletico do this against Barca multiple times now, not just in this game. I watched them do it in the Copa del Rey, the first Liga game. They always try to attack through their right wing on Simeone's side and just play it in behind the space of the left back, and it's worked every time. Like I think their one of their goals came from a ball from the right wing because they slipped it in behind and got the ball in. It's just like, or no, was it from the left side?
it was the left
It
side.
was the left side, but like their whole game plan was just like we're gonna exploit the high line in wide areas. Like that's all they do. And Barca doesn't have a solution to it right now. They who knows? Maybe they will come Wednesday. But we'll see. I do also want to get quickly into Liverpool PSG if you don't have anything else on Barca Atleti.
No, not really. I mean, I I think I'd just just in the scope of it being on our side of the
Yeah.
you know the tournament, um, I will say that I am, you know, assuming we get through, I'd rather play Atletico.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, like you said, I'm not counting Barca out of it. I think it's going to
No.
be an interesting because it's the second leg's at um
Atletico.
oh really? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Makes me
So
very happy.
that's a little different, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think it's still going to be a good second leg. I know they got, you know, now Kubarsi out and they've got Rafinha out, but I think it'll be a good game still. So um yeah, but yeah, we can get into the Liverpool and PSG.
Let's do it. Stats. We're looking at the stats. 74% possession to PSG. I
Yeah,
watched both games and my Liverpool didn't have a shot on target, man. Like this is why I said what I said at the beginning of the video. It's like this team, there's no way they just showed up and they're like, we just forgot how to play soccer. There's just no way. It's like there's a problem in that dressing room. PSG had 6 on target. They had a penalty call taken back. They could have had a third. I don't know. I'm still iffy on whether it was a penalty or not. I was kind of more paying attention to the Barca Atletico game. But Due gets a deflected shot, goes in. Kvaratskhelia gets a good combination goal, cuts inside. Hezes sends the defender for a hot dog, finish, just passes it into the net. Good goal. But like truthfully, this PSG team just dominated. And I don't know, man. They started the season out slow, but they are picking up form really quick. And they had Zaire Emery starting. They had Due starting on the right wing, Kvaratskhelia. Hakimi's been back from injury for a bit. Nuno Mendes, I still think, is probably the best left back in the world. Like, just ridiculous in every aspect of the game. Vitinha, I would cut off an arm and a leg for him to join Madrid. I don't think he will, unfortunately. But, like, this Liverpool team lined up in a 3-4-3. I don't know why Slot is trying these random experiments against the reigning European champions when their team has been in terrible form. And it's like, dude, I get it. Maybe try this against like a Fulham, not against the team that, no disrespect to Fulham, but maybe don't do it against the team that just won the Champions League and has a Ballon d'Or winner and World Cup winners and like a really, really good team that's hot right now. So I don't know. I thought it was a bit strange from Slot. Once again, makes me think like what's going on behind the scenes. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on the whole?
Yeah, I think, and like I said, I think the issue is about it's a balance thing with the squad with Liverpool. Um, but I think also, I think that, I mean, we've talked about it before, but I think the Luis Diaz transfer has more effect, and also Jota, that is it's tragic, but that
I
just
forgot about that.
in terms of the effect on, what we see on the pitch, like I think those two things are massive
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
them, because I would equate that to like for us that would be like, maybe Trossard and I don't know. Uh
Trent leaving as well.
yeah, but for us that's like maybe losing like a Trossard and Martinelli kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like um and now, Gakpo kind of has to be the main man because Verts like isn't really a winger. Especially in the Premier League. It's like
yeah, no,
I
no,
mean he's I
that
don't
never made
even
sense.
yeah, like they don't really have that same presence on that side, and obviously they're lacking it on the right side too now. Because of, Salah has been in poor form, and Frimpong doesn't really do the job out there. Um so yeah, man, I just think like they just don't have it. I think the PSG is just flat out too good for them.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
they're just not, they don't have enough of a threat going the other way. And like you said, I mean, the PSG they're not just all out attack. Like they're a well organized team. They have solid, defensive players who defend well, which we've been touching on.
Yeah. I
Mendes and
think Pancho is a
Hakimi.
good defender.
Yeah, man. Like they have quality, and they're tough. They can be tough to break down. They have a solid organized midfield as well. They a lot of rotations and like intelligent players. But yeah, they keep the ball well. They recycle attacks well. They're dangerous. They're front-footed, aggressive on the ball, and risk taking,
Forwards that are
dynamic.
actually willing to press.
Yeah, I gotta say, dude, that's the other thing I wanted to say that I bring up in any of the sections, but some of the attacking play from this week, I was really, really impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a deflected effort from Due, but like
The way he makes the
Kvaratskhelia,
space. Yeah.
yeah, the way he makes the space for it, and Kvaratskhelia, like just the intention. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like yeah, it's a deflected shot, but it's the intention. And honestly, it wasn't a huge deflection. Like yeah, it takes it over his head, but it's not like it like, sent him the wrong way and goes into an open net.
Yeah.
Like the intention is there. And it's the same thing with Kvaratskhelia. We saw it against Chelsea. He ripped them to pieces.
Yeah.
And like these guys, I know we've been banging on about how, offensive quality is kind of lacking, but they're kind of making me eat my words a little bit, at least this week. Like, you know, the players for PSG, Elise, Kane, Gnabry, you know, Diaz for Bayern, and obviously Barca is stacked offensively, even quality, with Atletico.
Yeah.
Even these like Trincao and what's the other guy's name on Luis Suarez on Sporting, like these guys they had good chances, man, like they rocket one off the bar, nice header at the near post. So yeah, just generally I was really impressed with some of the attacking intent and the skill on show this week. But yeah, just back to PSG, like I remember saying, I think I said it a couple of weeks ago, about them kind of as the league phase was wrapping up, but like I, even though they didn't, make top eight to get into the round of 16, like they did the same thing last year and they went and won it.
Yeah. They did
Like
okay the
this is a
first leg.
team that, yeah, I mean, we kind of knew that this was coming, like they weren't super hot. They had a couple, questionable results and they did just enough really in the league phase and actually had to come back. It was a pretty close game in the playoff. So from what I remember, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they're super dangerous, and if they get through and it's you or Bayern in the semifinal, like it's gonna be a wicked couple legs. Probably a little bit more so if it's Bayern, a little rematch.
100%.
Um, but yeah, I Liverpool for me is dead in the water.
Yeah.
I don't know where the second leg is.
It's
It's gonna be
at Anfield.
yeah. I even then I just they don't have enough. Like the crowd and the environment is not gonna be enough to fill make up that gap in quality. Um, so they're out of it for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I didn't see a lot of the game because I was watching Atletico Barca as well. But yeah, I mean, PSG absolutely dangerous. That is one thing I will say that I like about the way that you know this round has turned out is like it feels like it's a lot of that heavy hitters
Yeah.
still in it. And like, I don't get me wrong, I like a Cinderella, it would have been cool to maybe see like Bodo.
Yeah.
Um, but I also like I want to see a good final. I want to see good semifinals. I want to feel like there's a lot at stake. Like I don't want
That's
to be
how I
seeing
am. I hate the Cinderella stories. I don't like them at all. I want to see the heavyweights beat the shit out of each other. Like that's what I like to.
yeah. But we're kind of getting that, we got it again with Chelsea. And I mean, obviously Chelsea are kind of terrible, but in terms
Eh,
of who they are as a club, like them and PSG, fun to watch. City, Madrid, fun to watch.
Yeah.
Um, so
I can already tell you that we're gonna play City again in the Champions League next. I already know that.
yeah, at least in the league phase.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and probably in the first round of the knockouts as well.
yeah, first or second round. But yeah, no, I mean I think it was a really entertaining match week in
Yeah.
general. I was impressed with PSG, impressed with Bayern, impressed with the Atletico and Barca, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think next week's gonna be really interesting. I think one of these results is gonna turn around. And
Yeah.
in my mind, it's either Madrid, Bayern, or Atletico Barca.
Yeah.
I think the other two ties are kind of dead. Um, so I mean, aside from my allegiance to you as a friend, um, kind of hoping that it's not Barca that turn it around. Well, I
Oh
guess so in that way it'd be favorable for you, but yeah.
yeah. No, I
Um,
pray Barca doesn't go through. I mean, we're going trophyless. I know that, but like, I also don't want Barca to win the Champions League.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think next week's gonna be a fun watch. I'm really excited for the semifinals on both sides, to see how it's gonna end up. But yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, all right. Anything else before we close out the episode?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Yeah, nothing on my end either. Well, Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. It was a lot of fun to talk. We haven't been able to talk for a while, actually, just because with all the stuff that's going on in each of our own individual lives. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you want to keep seeing more, please subscribe. And we will see you guys shortly after this coming weekend's games and the midweek Champions League games on the 14th and 15th of April. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves.